Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 2 of What I Watched This Week. And if you're watching right now on the stream, which I don't think anyone is because there's 0 viewers, hi. If you're watching this on YouTube on the replay, hi, thank you. Please consider following me on Twitch. You can find that down below so that you can be a part of these episodes if you would like. Leave some comments, leave some questions, talk about the movies that we're going to talk about today, which we have a couple. We're going to talk about Venom 2, Carnage, and then we're going to talk about randomly, Night at the Museum, because I watched that this week, and also Halloween Resurrection, which I watched with my friend Drew this week. So we're going to talk about those films, because Halloween, it's October, and we never seen it. Busta Rhymes does a kung fu move and kicks Michael Myers out a window, so I want to talk about that a little bit, because it's fun and funny. But I guess let's start with Venom. So Venom, everybody, I rewatched it, hadn't seen it in a little while, and I thought it was okay. It's fine. My girlfriend watched with me. Megan had a fun time. She liked it. She thinks Venom's pretty funny. She likes his witty banter that he has. He says some funny things, which he does. Oh yeah, also, excuse me. Excuse me again. I have my fan turned up a little louder today because this is really hot. So hopefully you can't really hear that fan over my voice, but it is cooling me down. But it was shooting air directly down my throat, I think, and it was really tingling my throat. So I pushed it down. I think we're good. So yeah, Venom. Venom's okay. It's fine. I like the first one better than the second one. I like Venom better than Carnage. We'll get into Carnage here later, but let me just kind of finish my thoughts on Venom, I guess. So, what's his name? Gosh dang it. What's his freaking name? Tom Hardy. Ugh, I'm scattered. Tom Hardy is pretty funny in this movie. Like, he's just so sloppy and gross, and his acting is kind of like, I don't want to say bad, but it is kind of bad, but bad in like a funny way or a good way where it's entertaining. And the overall look of the movie is fine. It's a little generic, but nothing too bad there. There's a drone plot, which the only thing that drones do in this Venom world is they crash into things and they blow up, and they make a super bright flash, blue light and blue fire, which I like the blue fire effect, and all the flashing, though, was really messing with Megan's eyes, because, she has seizures, and light doesn't really trigger them, but it doesn't help, she does suffer from headaches, so the lights in that weren't, it's a cool stylistic choice, and I admire them going for something like, oh, there's lots of flashes for some reason. I liked it, but not really sensitive to a lot of your audiences. They definitely had to have a warning before this movie. Hey, flashing lights. So like, and I don't know why the drones didn't shoot any bullets. I got a bite right here on my arm. Can you see it? I'm scratching it like crazy. It's just distracting. I should put ADHD in my tags. You can put ADHD in your Twitch tags. Did you know that? For streams with a focus on ADHD, which I feel like I have right now in this moment. All right, back to Venom again for the third time of tangents. Going back to what I want to talk about. Venom. I don't remember who the guy was that directed the first one. He directed he directed TV stuff. I think I saw like Superstore was some credits on there, which I like Superstore. I watched that show. Working at Walmart, it's a cool, funny show to watch, But it just kind of feels generic story. The bad guy in this was fucking awful. I don't like him at all. He's just boring man. Doesn't do anything fun or silly. He's just kind of there. He's like Elon Musk, but Elon Musk would have been just a better villain. Just put him in the actual movie and just let him be Elon Musk, and that would have been more entertaining than this guy. That's why I had higher hopes for Carnage, because we have fucking Woody Harrelson in this movie as the bad guy. But that, we'll get to that. Ugh. So generic bad guy. We have too much setup for Venom. For Eddie Brock. I mean, Eddie Brock's character, of like his backstory with Anne. I think that's her name. I remember her name at least, but I should, because they spent a good chunk of the movie on it, of setting up his relationship with her, and they seems like super in love. They're engaged, and we see a lot of this stuff. We see a lot of their interaction early on, and then he peeps on her emails, uses the information to try to gotcha journalism, the head of the Space Foundation or whatever, and then she's like, "You bastard, I don't love you anymore. We're broken up. Fuck you." And she kicks him out, and he's fired, and now he's in a big slump. And 6 months go by, and we don't know what happened in the 6 months. I guess Eddie got his own place. He does just small jobs here and there, I guess, to stay alive, to float by. Anne is now in a relationship with another guy, and he's already kind of living with her, moved in with her. It's been 6 months, and it's just kind of jarring. It's like, why, like, why did they have to give her a new love interest guy? And we don't hate him. He's not like a dick or anything. It's like weird. He's kind of a nice guy. He helps Eddie Brock, but we're still supposed to want Eddie to get back with her. But it's very strange. Why not just have them separated? And then she's living by herself, she comes back into his life later when he gets his act together a little bit, when he has Venom. But we really, she's with a new guy. She's banging him. I'm sure she's having sex with this guy. They're living together. Eddie still kind of wants her back. They were in love. They were engaged like 6 months earlier. I don't see how. And she got him fired from his job, and that was the final straw, I guess. But when we first meet them, they're not on their relationship is not on the rocks, Oh, what's up? Somebody's commenting. Hey, what's up? Cool Luffy Fox Furry. Hey, are you talking about Monkey D. Luffy? Because One Piece is my shit here. I don't know if you already follow. Has followed. Hey, yeah, you followed. Thanks, man. Or thanks. So yeah, we're talking about Venom. Let me know if you have any questions about, or any comments about Venom, if you liked it, or did you see Venom, Let There Be Carnage? I'll look over there periodically. But I'm also filming for YouTube, so I'll have more of a focus on that. So what was I saying? Eddie's and Anne's relationship. We spend a lot of time on that in the movie, and we don't get the full movie with Venom, which I was looking forward to for Carnage, because he's gonna have Venom the whole time. And Venom and Eddie's relationship and the wacky stuff they do in the first movie is definitely the best part. And the ending is fine. It's very hard to see the ending. Like, they have their CGI fight with what was the other one called? Riot. Yeah, Riot and Venom fight, and it's really hard to see. You can't really tell. You can tell who's who, but kind of not so much. They kind of mesh here and there. It's just like, I would like to see more of them actually fighting, and like some choreography would be cool. They don't really do anything super cool. I mean, there's a cool shot where they kind of meld together, and then you can see the people inside, and they're kind of fighting each other inside that, and that's cool. It's a trailer shot, they put it in there for the trailer, some kind of cool visual. But the chase scene earlier with the cars and the drones and Venom and the motorcycle, that was the best action scene of the movie. That was the best part. Although I do really like the smoke screen in the office building where he fights all the security guards, or I guess they're police officers, but they're all shooting, and he's fighting them in there. That one's pretty cool too, because of the fog and everything. They're trying to hide those effects. You don't want to see Venom too too clean looking, too much, and that goes into the budget a little bit. But this movie made so much money, and for the second movie to come out looking the same, maybe even looks cheaper, like it looks just cheap, is a bad sign. This movie should have looked, or Carnage should have looked a lot better, but it looks kind of more the same. Kind of nothing spectacular in the way of style or CGI or anything. Didn't look super amazing to me. So I guess, is there anything else I want to say about Venom? Not really. Nope, I don't think so. I think Venom gets a 6. For as much shit as I talked about it, 6 is still. I go 1 out of 10, but it's got to be like a really crappy, sucky movie for it to be lower than a 5. Like, if there's got to be like nothing that I really liked, and that's gonna be hard for me to do. It's gonna be hard for a movie to really just stink up the place enough to where I'm giving it like a 3 or 2 or 1 or something, because I generally am a happy, optimistic person, and I can enjoy pretty much anything. Boring is the worst thing you can be to me, and neither of these two movies, none of the movies I'm going to talk about are boring. So we're going to go with a 6. Solely for the fact that Tom Hardy and Venom are pretty fun in that movie, and their interactions and the goofiness of it, and the scene where Tom Hardy goes into the restaurant and like fucking bites the lobster. He takes a bite out of the live lobster, and he's like throwing people everywhere, and they're knocking shit off tables and stuff. And he's all sweaty and gross, and that stuff's pretty fun. And there's none of that stuff in Carnage. There's some destruction in Carnage, like he destroys the whole apartment, but not with Eddie Brock, so like sweaty and gross looking. All right, so let's just go to Carnage, I suppose. Venom gets 6 out of 10, and let's talk about Carnage. Oh my gosh, my dogs are barking. Megan's dog is barking. He's still getting used to the place. He's a new dog. Okay. So Carnage, the best thing I can say about Carnage is that it is pretty short. It's a solid hour 30. So if you're not going to the theater to watch frickin' James Bond, No Time to Die or whatever that new movie is, which is 2 hours and 40 something minutes long. And I thought I was gonna make a video about James Bond, because the only James Bond movie I've ever seen. Let me think. The only one I've ever seen is Casino Royale. And that was when it like first came out, and it was like 2002 or something. When did that come out? 2003, 4, I think, something like that, because the Quantum of Solace came out like 2007. But I've only ever seen that first one, and so I thought I was gonna make a video about, all right, we're watching this last James Bond movie, even though I've never seen any other James Bond movies. But then I saw that it was 2 hours and 40 minutes. So I was like, hell no, I'm not sitting down to watch 2 hours and 40 minutes of something just so I can talk about it on a stream. Unless, maybe one day I will. If it's good enough. People say it's good enough. Whatever. I wish my dog would shut up. Oh my god. There's nothing out there for him to bark at. I don't know what he's barking at. So anyways, hour 30. Sweet and short. So Carnage, my biggest problem with Carnage is that it's not R-rated. And it's not as fun as it could be. The first Venom, you don't really get the sense that this would benefit or could be cooler or better if it was R-rated. But Carnage, this dude is a maniac. He's a psycho killer. He wants there to be carnage, and it's Woody Harrelson is the bad guy. And there's like no blood in any of these kills. And technically, I don't even know if they're really kills or not. He throws a lot of people around. But his main weapon is he can make like blades. He makes lots of blades, and this dude is a serial killer. And there's like no blood in any of his kills, and he kind of like doesn't kill. This one guy's like begging for his life, and I was like, yeah, you gotta just murder this man. You don't give a shit. You're a fucking psychopath. And he just kind of like throws him, and I'm like, dude, what the hell? You're supposed to be Carnage, and it just comes off like not cool. You know what I mean? Like, I think Andy Serkis directed this movie, and it seems so out of touch for how Carnage is played, or the things he does. Like and Woody Harrelson is just, he doesn't, he's so goofy and stuff in the movie, but not in a fun way. I didn't like how it's just like kind of cringe what he was doing. He was saying weird stuff and none of it made sense. Their plan kind of makes no sense. I mean, they don't really have a plan. He wants to get his lover and he wants to get married, but somehow he gets infected with the Carnage because he bites Eddie Brock's finger and he gets some of his blood in him, and then that gives him a symbiote. Somehow, we don't go into how that works. So can anyone just bite off and get some of the symbiote into their body and then become a symbiote? I don't know. I guess maybe we'll find out, because this thing is continuing, as we'll get to that. We'll get to the implications of this. But, damn it, I lost my train of thought. Don't know what I was saying. But anyways, Andy Serkis directed this, and I would think there would be some more style to this kind of movie, but it is very, very kind of bland. There's not even any of that like blue light, like there's nothing like that stands out to me as visual flair. Everything's kind of shot in a certain way, and it's just kind of, the story kind of just goes. There's setups, there's the cop guy, which we have as a character, and there's something with him too. He like has blue eyes at the end for some reason. I should have said spoilers. Sorry guys, I'm gonna spoil Let There Be Carnage. So I mean, at this point you should probably know, I guess, if you watch any of my stuff. I talk about the whole thing. These are long form podcasty type videos where I just talk. So we're already into spoilers. I haven't spoiled too much yet, but yeah, you kind of know what happens from the trailers if you watched it, with them getting the symbiote, biting finger, all that. But there's a cop character that attacks Carnage's girlfriend, and she has like supersonic powers where she can like screech. She has like screech powers, and they said something about mutation too. I think they said she's a mutant, or her mutation is doing something. So we're back to using mutants, the slang, because even though this is a Sony film, I guess they're associated with Marvel. So, and now that Disney has the rights to Fox, they have the rights to mutants and X-Men, so they can throw that word out there, I suppose. Which before they couldn't really say that. The old Marvel movies they would say enhanced. Like when Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver came around, they were enhanced. They weren't mutants. So we're just full on saying mutants now. Which you may think, Jamin, that's a stupid small detail. Why are you harping on that? Well, it matters, okay? It matters for everything that's going on now. Okay, so yeah, Carnage is the weakest part of the movie. It would have been better if he could kill people with blood. This should have been rated R. And I know that we can't really have it rated R because of the implications that at the end of this movie, but I'll get to that. We can't have it blood everywhere and swearing everywhere, even though that would have been way better. So Woody Harrelson kind of falls flat. I thought he would be fun, charismatic, and he's not. He's just kind of like, yeah. Says a lot of goofy stuff. He steals a car, and it's like a old Mustang, and I guess he is an older dude. So maybe he's just acting like an old crazy person. But it just seems like the director, this is what I was going to say earlier, I remember. Andy Serkis thought, this serial killer dude is cool. What he's doing, this is badass. He's stealing a car, he has a symbiote, and Carnage is with him, and yeah, this dude is badass. And he don't give a fuck, and he's a murderer. And it didn't work for me. And Venom in this suffers from, there's too much, And I wanted more Venom in the first one, but this Venom in this just kind of cuts off everything that Eddie says with some kind of quip or a joke, and a lot of them aren't that good. They're not that funny. They don't really add anything to the movie necessarily. Ugh, excuse me. And the best part. Oh, excuse me, guys. My favorite part that they incorporated into the movie was the part where Venom and Eddie are kind of starting to hate each other because they're just interfering with each other's lives too much. Venom wants to eat people because he's hungry all the time, and I guess canonically, like in the lore of the movie or the lore of Venom himself, he like brains is like what he really eats. I guess it's like a big part of his character. I think is like he eats brains, and that what's kind of fuels him. It's food for him, so he's not really eating brains right now because Eddie doesn't like to really kill people, and he wants to kill really, really bad people, but there's not that many really, really bad people. And they're not really fighting crime. I think Venom kind of wants to fight. He wants to be, they say some kind of term or some kind of phrase that he wants to be some kind of crime-fighting hero, I suppose. But Eddie is just kind of like, no, we got to do our journalism thing, keep a low profile, because they'll come and take you away, and they'll put us in Area 51 and experiment on us, and which he's probably right. But they do get fed up with each other, and they're like, fine, get away from me. And I thought that was an interesting idea of like, okay, Eddie doesn't have Venom now. He has to focus and really, put things together and do things on his own, and he's not like impervious to damage anymore. And Venom just kind of, he kills people. He goes into their bodies, and they can't survive. So he just kills people, a couple, for no reason. And Eddie's okay with that, I suppose. He says, "Yeah, fuck off, dude. Whatever. Go to someone else's body and kill them, and I'm fine with that. You can't eat people's brains or anything, but I'm done with you. And now that you're not a part of me, I don't care who you kill or what you do." Great guy, that Eddie Brock. Well, and we know he's not a super perfect guy. Eddie has his problems, but whatever. I thought that was an interesting idea, and I wish that would have went a couple more places. But the movie's so short, they have to condense it down, and so that's something in there to that's a story beat. That's something that happens in a movie. Anne is back. Her doctor guy's back. And we get to see Lady Venom again. Yeah, the guy's like Lady Venom because she's a lady. She's got boobies. Venom with boobies. We get to see her again. Which is, it's interesting to me that I thought is Venom special to where he gets onto someone's body and he can just automatically turn into his symbiote Venom form, because in the first parts of the other movie, the people that got infected with the other symbiotes, they weren't compatible enough to transform, I guess. We never saw that happen in the lab when that dude was experimenting, but Venom could just do it with a random citizen, and he does it with Anne twice, and she seems to have no negative effects at all. So is she a match enough for Venom as well? I don't know. These are questions that I have that are unanswered, and probably forever shall remain unanswered. I wish that my desk was closer. I should have scooted my chair up. Next time I'll scoot my chair up so I'm more close to this microphone. All right, what time are we at? 25 minutes? Perfect. So what else? What did I like or what did I not like about Let There Be Carnage? I think I'm missing some stuff. I talked about the R-rated thing. Talked about Andy Serkis and Woody Harrelson. Story is fine. Yeah, and I think Tom Hardy was worse in this movie. He doesn't stand out as much. In the first movie, it's really his show. He has the most to do. He has a lot of different things he goes through. and all that's kind of interesting, and it's funny to see him do what he does and how he acts. And in this one, he's not as effective. He's just kind of, his performance is more boring, I suppose. There's not as much to it as the first one. And of course, we have to focus more on Cletus Cassidy and his new hairdo. You know, at the end of he looks so goofy at the end of the first Venom when he has that longish curly, super duper curly hair. I think they looked at that and they're like, nah, let's not do that. That's kind of really goofy. So they don't have him in a crazy wig. They just have him like a modern haircut which still looks kind of goofy. I don't know if it like comes, it's kind of strange. It's very short on the sides, long on the top, but like very peaky, like it has lots of peaks on it. I don't know if it goes back or forward. It's strange, but weird at the same time. I'm choking myself. I gotta move my fan. There we go. I should bring some water in here too whenever I do this, because I really get a dry throat, dry mouth. Okay, I guess that's it for Venom and Carnage. Now we'll talk about the ending. And if I try, and you know what sucks? Every time I do this, I think about the video later, and I'm like, oh fuck, dude, I meant to say something about that, and I just thought of something like the music. I wish they would have went more. And this is my thing. You guys know, or you don't know. You know how I feel about music in movies. I want it to stand out. I want it to be significant to the story or to the movie itself, significant to the style. Like, I love when music is just different. Like, generic rock music, generic hip-hop music, generic orchestral score music is lame as fuck. And it adds nothing to the movie, and you don't remember it, or you just forget about it, and it means nothing. But, like, when music can transcend and become, like, can be memes, you know, that's when you're fucking hitting the spot. Like Avengers theme, you got Jurassic Park, you got like there's lots of examples of just like music that stands out. And I wish that they would go with Venom. They should go hardcore, man. With Carnage especially, they should have rated R, fucking doom-esque metal music, and Cletus just killing people and all that. We get one cool, and I remembered this. Thank goodness, I remembered this. This is my favorite part. Coolest part of the movie. Venom finally, they get the symbiote out of Cletus, which is funny to say. Think about that sentence I just said. They get the symbiote out of Cletus, and Venom has him, and he's looking at him, and he's like, "Well, what should I do with this guy? He should go back to jail." Blah blah blah. He just says, "Fuck this guy," and he bites his head off. A+, baby. My favorite part of the whole movie. There should have been more fucks. There should have been more damn it, shit, ass. You know, they should have thrown out all the curse words. Throw them out there. Venom should be saying, fuck this guy. And he should say that at least every 60 seconds of the movie. And the movie would have been amazing. So, a lot of wasted potential. Because I love Venom as a character. I think he's pretty cool. This portrayal is fine. I'm not the biggest fan of it, but there's potential there, and it could work. They just have to get it in the right hands. Here we come. Hence, the Marvel connection. So we're already in spoilers, of course. Very into this. Some kind of... Eddie and Venom are on the run now because they've kind of... Their whole operation is kind of the lid's blown off of it. Everyone kind of knows there's some shit going on with Eddie Brock and Venom, and there's this weird creature. And they were in San Francisco, and they said, fuck it, we're out of here. So they started traveling around, which he should go back to New York or Queens, right? Because that's where Spider-Man is. But they're chilling somewhere weird, which seems like some kind of coastal Mexican place. Who knows? It looks like a foreign country of some kind. And there's kind of weird, and Venom says something weird too. He says my species has been around for 80 million years or something like that, and we've accrued a lot of knowledge. We know a lot of things because they have like a hive mind type situation going on, which is interesting. So he kind of knows everything that the other Venoms know. Well, they're technically the other symbiotes know. and they must come from somewhere specific. I mean, obviously they do, because that was kind of the first movie. They were wanting to go back to their place and get the rest of the symbiotes, take over this world, whatever. But so he says, "I'll show you some things, Eddie," and then he starts to show him some things, and then we have like this weird switch that happens, like a universe. I think it's got to be the multiverse, kind of coming undone. And now this is where we get to some crazy stuff, because is that directly related to the new Spider-Man movie? Which, I mean, obviously it is. It's directly related to that. But is it also directly related to the Loki series with the multiverse and the variants and everything, like, you know, splitting off at the end? Oh, gosh, dang it. So, guys, spoilers for Loki. If you want to not be spoiled for Loki and you want to see the Loki show, then kind of go away for the next 30 seconds. And I'll give you 1, 2, 3. Okay, so the end of Loki, everything collapses. What do they call it? The timeline, the one true timeline. There's a word for it, or I can't remember, but it collapses and starts to divulge due to some actions the characters take in Loki. And so that we start to see that happening. And we see the ramifications of that at the end of the Loki series. So I wonder if that is kind of also directly related to what happened at the end of this, and then also what's going to happen in No Way Home, Spider-Man No Way Home. Because Doctor Strange does some strange thing, and it seems like that's probably what happened to Venom and Eddie Brock at the end of that, and then they see a Spider-Man on TV. So maybe they got switched into their reality instead of their own reality. And Venom licks him on the face. So is it confirmed that we'll see Venom in No Way Home? I don't think so. But it would be pretty cool. And it could happen. I'm not like... there's so much shit that I feel like is going to happen in Spider-Man No Way Home that I don't know if they have room for Venom as well, you know, because we're hoping, we're praying, we want to see the Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire, Tom Holland team up. We want to see all of them on screen doing some Spider-Man shit. That would be awesome as fuck. Are they also going to end some more villains? You know, is the Green Goblin coming back? Is definitely not going to be James Franco, I don't think, because no one likes James Franco anymore. Willem Dafoe would be fucking sick. I don't know. We're going to see some people. Oh, Jamie Foxx is Jamie Foxx is supposed to come back. And that could be interesting. The last time we saw him was kind of embarrassing. But, so there's a lot of options. A lot of things could happen. Venom could show up. Maybe he's more of an antagonist than a helper to Spider-Man at first. That'd be okay, you know, but it'd be interesting. They don't really fit together. Venom and the what I think of like Venom and what I think of Marvel Spider-Man, they don't really. I want to see how they could really mesh. You know, what are they gonna talk about? What are they gonna do together? But you get Venom in the Marvel hands, and those little Venom jokes, they're gonna start to work. I don't know how, I don't know why, but when Marvel gets their hands on those things, they know exactly how to use those characters and what to say when and where. Venom is the perfect Hulk character. Venom didn't need his own movies. That first one was cool and fine. Carnage didn't really further anything with the Venom character. I mean, Eddie and Venom are like, okay, well now we're more close now, we're buddies. But we could have just saw that in a short clip in another movie, you know. We already kind of saw that they were together at the end of the other movie and they seemed fine there. So we didn't really need to see their relationship stretch and come back together stronger. It doesn't really add too much to it, you know. If we could have seen Venom how we see the Hulk in the Avengers movies, just have him show up, have his like connecting stories that, you know, we see his story in those movies and it progresses and it changes and things happen to him. And that's all we need for Venom too. We don't need him to have a whole movie. I'm not saying that he couldn't, because the first Venom's okay, could have been, but there was potential there for a good movie. But now we've had that, get it out of here. Let's just have him show up in other movies, because we know who Venom is now. It's just like Doctor Strange. He's gonna have another movie, but when he was in the Avengers, we know Doctor Strange. Yeah, we know him. He's cool. He does cool stuff. Venom. Oh, we know Venom. He bites people's heads off. He makes some quips. He says, "Can I eat your face?" Ha ha ha! That's Venom. That's all we need. So let's do that. I hope that's what's gonna happen. I need a drink of water. Bad. All right, we're at 36 minutes. So that's all I have to say about Venom. Let There Be Carnage gets a 4.5. I was gonna give it a 5, but the longer I thought about it and the more I talked about it, there's not much that I liked about it. And I wish that I would have just skipped it and not paid the money that I paid to watch it, even though it was fun, even though it was a good date night. Because Megan liked the first one. We watched the second one. She thought the second one was okay as well. She doesn't have very strong opinions about movies, which is fine. But I wish that I could have, get my money back, watched something different. There's other things on that I would like to see. So yeah, 4.5. So I also watched Night at the Museum and Halloween Resurrection. So let's talk about those for just a little bit, because I have things to say about those. And this is literally a show called What I Watched This Week. So I want to talk about what I watched this week. Night at the Museum is, I saw it once, possibly once, when I was in high school, because it's kind of one of those movies you show in a school setting, because it's historical enough, because there's historical people in it, and there's no curse words, there's no real violence or anything. It's perfect kind of kids movie turn on. Here you go. What do you watch? Night at the Museum. Oh yeah, I know about that. It's whatever. I was surprised by how much I enjoyed Night at the Museum. Ben Stiller is fun in it. His character is a nice guy, and I like the way I like the way he comes off in that movie. Because there's a lot of times where he should really lose his shit, or he should be really mad or pissed off, but he's always just such a nice guy, and he's always trying to do the right thing. And he never really yells at anybody. He always talks when the shit's going crazy in the museum. He's always nice to the people, even though they're not people. And he's kind of tries to diffuse all the situations, except for the monkey. He kind of escalates it with Dexter, but that's that's some of the humor and some of the fun. And there's parts where he's just the monkey smack him in the face, and he's smacking the monkey, and it's just funny. It just goes on. It goes on for so long, and they're just the sound effects of the smacking, and just the image of Ben Stiller smacking this monkey in the face. It made me laugh. And Owen Wilson, man, watch the Loki series, guys. Watch Loki. I know I spoiled it if you haven't already seen it. But still, you don't know exactly what happens. I just told you kind of the ending, and you expect that to happen anyways when you start watching it. So just watch it and have the fun watching it. Owen Wilson's in there. He plays Mobius, and Owen Wilson is in Night's Museum. He plays Tex. He's this cowboy, and he's so funny. He's so good. Oh my gosh, I don't know if you could hear that, but our dog Lupin's doing this thing now where he's laying down and he hears something, and he freaking jumps up, jolts up, and he's like, what the fuck? He's clawing everything and trying to stand up, and our floor is slippery and he can't stand up, and it scares us sometimes. It's so loud and he just freaks out for no reason, but he just did that. I don't know if you hear it or not, but if you could hear it, that's the explanation. So yeah, Owen Wilson, he's funny every time he comes on the screen. I'm like, yeah, he's just going wild, he's having so much fun, and that's a good part of the movie. Everyone's having fun, it seems like. What else about it? It's an hour and 45 minutes long, 47 minutes, but it goes by. It's one of those movies that moves along at a quick pace. It starts slow because they have to set up some stuff with the son and the relationship with Ben Stiller and his ex-wife, and Paul Rudd shows up with like old school cell phones and beepers and shit all over him, and that's kind of funny. And he's in the movie for like 5 minutes. There's a lot of people in this movie, a lot of cool actors. Robin Williams in a great, fun performance as Teddy Roosevelt. I'm made of wax, Larry. What are you made of? It's great. You can tell, you can just see how great Robin Williams is as an actor. And he has so much fun, and it's great to see Robin Williams in movies. If nothing else, you can watch it just because, hey, Robin Williams. I think there is an Night at the Museum too, but I don't know if it's as good or not. Well, maybe I'll watch that one at some point. But it's not on Disney Plus. We have Disney Plus, and I was like, I think Night at the Museum is on Disney Plus, and turns out, hey, it is. It's on Disney Plus. So it's a Disney movie somehow. I don't know how it's related. It doesn't really. I don't think there's any kind of Disney logo that comes up. It must be one of their production companies that they put movies out through, because it's not branded. I don't think it's like Disney's Night at the Museum, But a fun kids movie, and there's lots of stuff. There's dinosaur. There's fun chase at the end. I was blown away. I was like, man, this is really good. This is really entertaining, really fun. Just good kids movie. There's kids movies that are just dumb and they're just for kids, like probably Minions or shit like that. But sometimes I put out these movies that are just like, man, that's fun for the whole family, So check out Night at the Museum. If you have a family, if you have kids, and you're my age or younger than me, and you didn't really watch it as a kid or something, watch it. This is a good family fun night movie. Okay, next, moving on. Let's talk about Halloween Resurrection. Halloween Resurrection. Halloween Resurrection is a sequel to Halloween H2O. It's a sequel in the name only because it really has nothing to do with Halloween H2O. It's so goofy and it's so silly because the start of the movie, Jamie Lee Curtis is on the cover of this movie, Resurrections. He's like right there at the front. It's like, oh, Jamie Lee Curtis, we saw what happened in the last movie. Like, we didn't watch Halloween H2O. Me and my friend Drew watched this because this is the lowest rated Halloween movie. I think even lower than Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, which people just kind of rate that low because there's no Michael Myers in it. That's a whole different story. But this is the worst rated ones. And this is the one where Busta Rhymes kung fu kicks Michael Myers out a window, and he even makes like noises, and he's like kicks him, and it's pretty hilarious, and we got a good chuckle out of that. And that's the whole reason we watched the movie. But it turns out it's not boring, right? So I should have give Night at the Museum an 8 out of 10, by the way. Solid kids movie. Because I just thought about this. Oh god, I'm gonna have to rate this movie. I'm like, what am I gonna rate this? So, yeah. Okay. So Busta Rhymes kicks him out the window. That's the only reason we watched this. We're like, we gotta watch this movie. This is ridiculous. What's the context of this? So, start of the movie. Laurie Strode, Jamie Lee Curtis, is in a mental hospital because she accidentally killed the wrong guy some years earlier. It wasn't Michael Myers. She chopped this dude's head off, and Michael, because he's a clever, sneaky guy, took his clothes off, put him on a paramedic, took the paramedic's clothes, but before that he crushed his larynx, so he couldn't talk. He couldn't say, hey, I'm not Michael Myers. He was just kind of there. And I don't know, I guess his body language wasn't good enough, like, for Laurie Strode not to know that he wasn't Michael Myers. Like, he wasn't like, no, he wasn't like, stop, or nothing. He was just like, I don't know. Didn't watch that one, but it shows what happened, that she cut his head off, wasn't actually Michael Myers. Oh no, she's a murderer. And it kind of fucked her up mentally. So they go to this hospital, and Michael Myers comes to kill her. and he comes in there, and but it seems like she planned for this, because she goes up to the balcony, no, to the roof. She kind of hides. He goes to this one spot. He stands at this one spot, and she starts cranking this lever, and it was like a Wile E. Coyote trap. Went around his foot and yanked him up into the air, and he's just kind of like, he's stuck there. And she's like, "I got you, you bastard. Now you're really gonna die." And then he says, "Nope, not today." Like, she starts to cut the rope, and then she's looking at him, and this is still when they were doing this brother-sister connection thing. So she's like, "Oh no, this is my brother," and she's kind of, "Are you okay? I gotta see your face, make sure that it's you, I guess." Because she tries to take his mask off. He grabs her, he yanks her over, the rope snaps, he goes, and then like some kind of weird flip happens, and he has a knife, and it goes bam, stabs her right in the back, and then she's like, "Oh," and he's like hanging there with the one arm like a beast. And then what happens is Lori looks at him, and because they're face to face and the knife's in her back, and she's got her hand behind her back trying to stop it, and she looks at him, and she's like, she gives him a kiss on the mask, which was, I was like, what in the fuck is happening right now? And she says, "I'll see you in hell, Michael," and then she falls down. Oh, so dramatic. She falls off the building, and we don't see her really hit the ground, but that's the whole opening. That's 15 minutes, and then we get the title, Halloween Resurrection. And I was like, wait a minute. So now Lori is dead. Michael is still alive. So this is called Halloween Resurrection. Okay, she's got to come back at the end. She's not really dead. She's going to come back. She's going to save the day. She's gonna save the final girl or whoever's left, and they're not gonna die. But that doesn't happen. She's really dead, and she's really gone, and that's the only connection to the previous movie. It's insane. So this is a sequel for the first 15 minutes, and then it's not a sequel anymore. Then it's a haunted house movie with webcams and live streaming. There's too much to go into in this goddamn movie, and I don't want my camera to die, because around an hour it usually dies. The battery, it doesn't last super long. But my word, it is an insane movie. Busta Rhymes' acting is horrible, but also funny. He's kind of the best part of it. He says a lot of motherfuckers. He says a lot of F-bombs in it. Our teen characters that go into this webcam haunted house, they're all horrible. There's funny things. If you like Halloween movies and you haven't seen this one, maybe if you like the Halloween series, don't watch this one. I think it's just, if you like funny, bad, entertaining movies, and without any context, like I've only ever seen Halloween 1 and then the new 2018 Halloween. Those are the only ones I've ever seen. So I know Michael Myers just a little bit from those two movies. So if you just want to see Michael Myers, you know who that is, and you're not super invested in him, in his character and all, his development and everything, this is a fun, bad movie to watch with him in it. So there you go. It's entertaining enough. Watch it with a buddy. Like, watching it by yourself is not that fun. It would be just kind of boring. I wouldn't have made it through it without Drew. Or you could also just type in Kung Fu Kick, Busta Rhymes, Michael Myers, and just watch that for 10 minutes, and then you can be like, I've seen enough of the movie. A+, But it is set up. I will let you know. That kick, Kung Fu Kick, is set up in the movie. He's watching some kind of Kung Fu movie, and he's like, yeah, kick his ass. Whoop, yeah. And he's like making noises, and like, they're setting up the Kung Fu Kick later. This is in here just so he could do the Kung Fu move later. It's funny. At least it doesn't come out of nowhere. It would have been more funny if it just kind of came out of nowhere. But it is set up, god damn it. Set up. Is there anything else noteworthy to mention about Halloween Resurrection that I can think of really fast? Halloween theme is great. Other music in there? Nope. Not really. I got nothing else, guys. That one gets like a 5 out of 10. Not good, but funny, and 2000 to early 2000s movies. They're just the really bad ones. They're just Jason X come out in 2003 or 2. This movie came out 2002 or 3. So, chef's kiss, guys. All right, that's all I got, everybody. So if you're on the stream here, thank you for watching me. Follow me. If you were seeing this on the replay, because Twitch keeps these replays up for a little while. So I'll be back next week, and I don't know what I'm going to watch this week. So, follow me on Twitter. I have a Twitter, and maybe I'll update you throughout the week or whatever, depending. And also, if you're watching on YouTube, thank you. Subscribe, comment. The videos will come out on my channel here on Mondays, just like today's Monday, and I'll stream it early on Monday. 11 or 12 will be the streaming time. So that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. What I watched this week with Jamin, episode 2 is in the books. Bye bye.